qui brille sous la pluie et cette ville qui nous sourit. Paris, je t'aime, Paris, je t'aime. Chaque rue est un poème. Paris, je t'aime, toujours la même et pourtant jamais pareil.
I like this energy. This is good vibes thing. So that's why. This is the good vibes effect that you will have today and for the next following days. So hi everyone. Happy to welcome you in Paris again for some of you, but for the first time for some others. So we're always happy to share what we love about this city, and I'm pretty sure you will love it as much as we do at the end of these couple of days. Welcome also to the online attendance. That could be on LinkedIn Live, but also through the website that we promoted, dedicated for that session. So you will have to participate also. So you will have some voting answers, questions to answer. So you will be able to participate. And of course, the assistants here will be able to ask any question that they want to our guests. So before beginning, we're here at the Fondation Cartier for Contemporary Art. So thank you so much for welcoming us. And I do present you Julie Auriol, Marketing and Digital Manager of the Foundation, who will say a couple of words for welcoming.
Hi, everyone. Yes, just to welcome you, I will be very quick. We're very happy that the team chose our venue. We just opened last October. I don't know if some of you knew our previous building that was also built by Jean Nouvel in the 14th. We're now in the heart of Paris. We continue our mission dedicated to contemporary art. We exhibit normally twice a year. For the opening exhibition now, we have a longer exhibition, the one that some of you have discovered. And the online attendees, you're welcome to join when you'll be in Paris. But we have also opened a private event offer that we didn't have in the past, here in the center of Paris. So here in this auditorium that can also transform as a room. And between the artwork, depending on the exhibition, you saw that there were 5 moving platforms. The building is going to be different every time. Every exhibition will be a new adventure. So it's dedicated also for events organizing, people that like art or want to make art discovery. So you're welcome anytime. Come back. Ludovic is your key contact. We are delighted to have you, and I hope you have a nice, good vibes day.
Yeah, thank you, Julie. Thank you again for welcoming us in this magnificent location. I want to take also this opportunity to thank all our partners who are working with us daily and who makes also this WhatsApp Day in particular available to all of you. So we will talk about that a little later. Thank you also to Visit Paris region where we work together, and we just created and announced a few weeks ago a one-stop portal to help you, unique point of contact to help you organize some events on the destination in Paris, Greater Paris and the region. So do not hesitate to work with all our teams on that. And then maybe before beginning the complete discussions with our guests, just want to share a few facts about Paris, because Paris is always transforming itself. It's always in motion, like we were saying. So this is a good example of a recent opening that we had. But we have some transformation in terms of transportation. You know, we have a Charles de Gaulle Express coming in, hopefully next March, 2027. A few new lines, also subway lines that will open the enlarged Paris, I would say. So we already opened the line 14 during the games in 2024. And that was really the opportunity of working more with the suburbs and be able to enlarge really the experience of Paris. So this is really important for us. Then we have a few openings, so I won't quote all of them, but you've got 3 of them here that are very iconic, I think, for us. So the Cité du Cinéma, which opened in September in Saint-Denis, enlarged Paris. The Triangle Tower, we will host the Summit experience like in New York. So we will be the second city to have it, hopefully. And then the Louvre, you've heard about the new transformation of the Louvre, the project of the Renaissance of the Louvre. So I think these 3 items are really a symbol of what we keep transforming over and over on the city. And I think this is really important for all of you. And then, of course, Hospitality. Hospitality is really at the heart of everything that we do. We're focusing on sustainability, experience, local impact. This is everything which is really important to all events that we're hosting in Paris. All our members, 1,600 members of the Paris Je t'aime Tourism Office, have signed this hospitality manifesto, and we're really committed to make your experience in Paris the best ever. So maybe before entering more into the subject, let's see the Aéroport de Paris movie, who's really committed to hospitality, and Aéroport de Paris is really a great partner of ours. So let's have a look.
Paris is not just a destination, it's a feeling. At Group ADP, we believe that this feeling should begin the moment you land. For the 5th year in a row, Paris CDG has been named Best Airport in Europe by Skytrax. But titles are not enough. We want to transform every minute spent in our airports into a souvenir. This ambition has a name, Extime, our hospitality brand. When people think about Paris, 3 words come to mind: gastronomy, wellness, and entertainment. Today, Extime offers travelers access to more than 1,000 premium brands, an exceptional duty-free experience, a diverse culinary offer including restaurants led by Michelin-starred chefs, as well as entertainment spaces and gaming. Beyond retail and dining, Extime also provides a complete range of premium services designed to make every journey seamless and personalized. Lounges, meet and greet assistance, personal shopping. For our most discerning guests, Extime operates an international network of VIP terminals. They are located in Paris and in the US, offering a backdoor to your commercial flight, private TSA, and customs clearance. We also believe the experience should not end at the door of the airport. And in June, we launched Extime Travel. We now offer hotel bookings, guided tours, private excursions, and even cruises on the Seine River. At Group ADP, we believe that hospitality doesn't start at the hotel door. It begins the moment travelers arrive and continues throughout their entire journey.
So back to our stage, let's talk a bit about Paris, just a few numbers to give you the global things. So, this is the 5th edition of the WhatsApp Day. So we're particularly happy to have you here. And the thematic of the good vibes, I think, is a good choice for this year because it's so hard everywhere. So we're happy to put you with the good vibes effect in Paris. As you can see, 40 million of people have been there in 2025. We will be approximately at the same or a little above with the numbers of 2026. Which is important is that 2/3 of the people who are coming here are repeaters. So they're doing a lot of things. Each time you come to Paris, each time you can discover something new. And I think this is really what we want to achieve. Nearly 100% of the travelers looking for emotional experience, recharge, and everything. I think it was a survey from Accor saying that. And obviously, Paris offers this emotional effect at one moment. So I think it is really important. Coming back to the business travel, a few facts also. We have hosted 1,200 conventions in 2025. It was the best year ever in terms of numbers. We've got the 2nd place at the ranking from ICA, so we're happy to be back on the podium on that. It was not the case for the 2024 year, but it was the Olympics, so we had some excuses. We have some trade show business which has been recovering from COVID and is back to the number and even more than the numbers before COVID, before 2019. So this is really a great dynamic that happens in Paris. And I think this is really also important to host all your corporate events and business events that you want to achieve here. And then we have quite some thematics we're very attached to. So sports, of course, you've seen that with the games, but not only. We just announced yesterday the opening of the eSport World Cup, which happens to be in Riyadh and which happens to be this summer in Paris. So it's 400,000 people. It's more than 300 million views of streaming and everything. So that's a good way of promoting Paris everywhere in the world. But we also host NFL, NBA, you've got swimming championship in the Seine. So I think we can say that Paris is really at its very best on the podiums of the sports. Same for the events. We saw the Pont Neuf just before in the film, but we were very lucky to have this GR art, majestic art with the Pont Neuf. 6 million viewers who saw this Pont Neuf exceptional artistic thing. And we had an exceptional international media coverage, but we also host majority of the art shows, design shows like Art Basel, Maison et Objets, the fashion weeks, of course. So we still have this number one place, a very specific place in culture, event, art de vivre, I would say, à la française, because we like that. And finally, entertainment. I'm pretty sure you've seen all the announcement of that, but I think it confirms, like Céline doing only the concert in Paris for this year and even for next year, because she announced to be back afterwards. But some others, of course, you see the billboards here, but I think it reaffirms the exceptional role of Paris in a worldwide tour. So it's very important for us. That shows a different side also of Paris. And it's always so many opportunities to come back because we've got quite a lot of foreign people also coming for all these events. But now I'm finished with the Paris update. So we're going to talk about food, wellness, entertainment with our guest. 4 guests will be coming and join me for that. Only good vibes during this talk. And we will begin with the gastronomy and food stage. I would say gastronomy has always played a very important role in Paris. Of course, it's really part of our DNA. I think things are really changing. So I was working with that with Luc 15 years ago. We calculated that just before. And I think the food scene is really changing. So it is interesting just to see how it goes and what are the trends actually. But we know that it's very important also for visitors. I heard that Belgians consider the culinary offerings when they choose their holidays. So we're happy with that. And also, I think the thing is that you're not only focused on restaurants, even if we've got 15,000 restaurants in Paris, it's not only about restaurants, it's about everything above the restaurants, beyond the restaurants, like food, supermarket, everywhere where you can, coffee shops, whatever, where you can find something effective to do. So I'm very pleased to call Luc Dubanchet to join me on the stage, Deputy Chief Executive Officer at JL Events Exhibitions, and a food expert and founder of Omnivore. We will talk about it. Please join me on stage.
Et cette ville qui nous sourit, Paris je t'aime, Paris je t'aime, chaque rue est un poème, Paris je t'aime.
It's always a pleasure to talk food anyway. So you're a food expert and a food reference, I would say, because you founded Omnivore in what year?
2003. So we are not rookies anymore.
So,
I think so.
And you play a leading role in the development of major international exhibition and hospitality projects, such as Syrah Lyon, which is really the major trade show that we have here, hosting the Bocuse d'Or, maybe.
It's the most powerful in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we've known each other for many years now, so that was really a pleasure to have you, and I think we can have a real interesting conversation about what are the trends and how it goes actually. And so we were talking about the search for culinary experiences, and when we were preparing, you told me also that it was not limited to restaurants, so maybe we can begin with that?
Yeah, for sure. If we come back 25 years ago, we were still already there.
Yeah.
I would say Paris was not asleep. It was already powerful and lots of restaurants were there. And most of them were star restaurants. A young part of new bistros were coming with people like Yves Candebord. So it was late 90s. But it's absolutely different now. I mean, I think the food scene had been booming since, I would say, 20 years. And what we have now in Paris is a kind of achievement for what a city, a worldwide city, a world capital, has to be for food lovers.
Good for us.
And it's about variety. It's not only about restaurants and star restaurants. It's about all the experiences you can do when you are a tourist and when you're curious about good taste.
Yeah, we talked about the coffee shops, for example,
Yeah.
or even the wines and cocktails, things like that. We've
It's
got plenty of offers on that.
Yeah, it's really amazing to see that around 80 corners now of Paris, and mainly the right bank. The right bank is more alive probably now. It was not the case at all 20 years ago. But you can really cross the street and have so many possibilities. And you can start your journey, your day, with, of course, the traditional breakfast, French breakfast and French croissant. But you will take it in your new, pastry, a new bakery, and it's mainly focused on the produce itself. So it means it's more local, it's more precise, it's probably better and buttery than ever. So you start with a very good croissant and very good coffee as well. I think Paris was known to be the worst place for coffee in the world 10 years ago. And now, honestly, things absolutely change. In France now, you got something like 1,000 coffee brewers.
Wow.
It was almost nothing only 6 years ago. So the coffee shop and the coffee in general as a subject, a topic for French culture and also for tourism attraction really boomed a few years ago. So daily croissant, very, very good coffee. And again, you can cross the street and you will have 2, 3, 4 possibilities in only 300 or 400 square meters area. Because Paris is still a small city, for that. And then you can move and, of course, cross the markets. We have to remind that we got 20 districts, and the 20 districts, all of them have markets, and very good market and very good produce in the market. And then you can go to have a drink. And mainly now you got not only wine cellars, but small bistros focused on, which is very new. I mean, it's 10 years ago already, but very French as well. And you've heard about the natural wines. And now you can go to have and enjoy around 11. Okay, we can drink a bit early in Paris when you're on holidays. You can go and have a very good, tasty, natural wine, white sparkling anyway, before going to lunch. And it was the most impossible 20 years ago. Again, it was like traditional bistros with not a very high standard of wines. And now this is not the case anymore. It's very diverse and it's very rich.
And I think visitors really like that. And they like to go to the markets, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Food markets are really very attractive, actually.
Having 1 hour choosing and seeing, ingredients.
You can even eat at the market.
And of course, yes, you can eat any place now in Paris. Every market you can have bites, very good bites as well.
And so would you say that it's very specific to Paris, or do we find this same diversity elsewhere in the world, or can we keep our number one place?
I won't be too French, okay? Of course, okay. And when you're traveling, you can see that, of course, things are happening and booming everywhere on this earth, which is great. When you're a traveler, you can enjoy a very good experience everywhere in London and New York. But I would say that I think this is more crowded probably in Paris, and the quality itself is probably higher. And I'm not talking as a French, honestly. I'm talking about like a food critic and a traveler. But the quality is probably, quite unique for a capital. I was in a very nice capital, huge, not so far away, a few weeks ago, and I really enjoyed my weekend. But it was not that crowded, as quality shops than Paris for sure.
So we keep our advance. So I've got a question for the audience. So you've got to participate. So, and be careful to what you answer. So if we talk about culinary experience and diversity, would you prefer Paris or London? Raise your hand in the room and you can vote online. So
tricky.
Be careful.
I do love London
No,
as well.
I don't put any pressure. You can say whatever you want. But raise your hand, Paris or London. So Paris, who says Paris? Good for us. We're quite the majority. And so who's doing London? Okay. Thank you.
But London is as crazy.
We have the results online. I will give them to you. But that's always, they're friends. So we like them. We like London. So we work a lot with them.
You don't have any bistros in London. I mean, few of them young creators. Paris is honestly packed of new bistros.
Obviously, there is only one Paris. You told me also when we were preparing, we were probably in the process, which is a little different than before in terms of culinary stage, like more thinking about the meaningful heritage that we have, being back to savoir-faire and things like that,
Yeah.
more than fancy, trendy things that we had for a few years, maybe.
Yeah, even the trendy places now are also focused and they do love heritage and very local ingredients as well. And we just came back to yes, our roots, our traditions, and it's nice to have bistros where you can have eggs, very simple at le comptoir, and then also having a nice piece of very good meat with French fries. We just forgot that probably a few years ago, because we were struggling and fighting for being the one and only creative food scene in the world, which is, I think, unuseful. And now we just, come back to, our identity, which is very diverse again, because, and that's what is very interesting. You can have, a very good experience on food from €8 to 450 euros. And it's mainly, I would say it's concentrated more around 50 euros. Than more than that, and which is unique. If you go to London, if you go to New York, it's going to be far more expensive, and you know that. It's crazy.
So coming back to the results of the votes on online attendance, just to let you know, 60% for Paris, 40% for London. So we still are prime, so that's fine.
Okay.
You were talking also of the savoir-faire of the bread and dough and pastry, so maybe a quick word on that.
It's kind of a revolution. It's also something worldwide, but new bakers arrived a few years ago, and they are working with traditional ancient flour. They really bake, as before, but probably better than before. And again, this is, the whole Paris. You can go anywhere and you will find in less than 500 meters a very good bakery and have a beautiful experience with bread. And you can have, the bread, the butter, and the ham, and you will have the complete, food scene for Paris probably. And I think now there are hundreds. We have something like 32,000 bakeries in France. And I think Paris is something like 5,000 or 6,000. We need to check out. But most of them are very high quality bakers. Yeah.
And we have these prizes from the City Hall saying the best pastries, the best baguette and everything. And honestly, this is an information that is integrated in our apps, Paris Je t'aime, and people love that because it's a way also of discovering a Paris in a different angle. So you go for the best croissant of the city. Well, it's in Versailles.
I just arrived from the railway station Gare de Lyon, and there's a very small place called Olga, only 3 tables. And they are doing a daily work on French sandwiches. So you got 4 or 5 types of cheeses from France, a very good bread, and you can just, enjoy that and cost 10 euros.
So can we talk about maybe a Parisian influence on the world scene of food? We still have very star chefs going everywhere.
As a French non-chef, non-French, I can really tell you, of course. And Paris is a kind of integrator, for all the new talents. And most of European, and even, I've been to Sydney, I've been to New York as well. Most of the young chefs just came to Paris and learned from not only the French way of cooking, but from also now a kind of international way of cooking in Paris. And of course, it's a game changing.
Great. We're going to talk about healthy food afterwards with our friends from Novotel. If I ask you anything that you really like, even if it's not healthy, what's your favorite dish?
For me, I've grown in a city where we got a garden with fresh vegetables all year long. So for me, healthy food is based on very high quality ingredients. That's it, And every time it's much better than processed food for sure. So health for me and the cuisine itself, and again all these ranks of cuisine, including the bakers and so on, they are only based on very good ingredients. And then after 25 years, writing on food, when you're still healthy, I try to be still healthy, and I do drink because I do love to have very good cocktails and very good wines. You stay healthy because you also, put in your mind and stomach very good ingredients.
We're going to talk about that. So I've got a question for you guys. What do you prefer, croissant or Paris-Brest? We can choose.
Well,
Same
why
coffee. This is a
choosing?
tricky question. This is a difficult one. I see that. So who's for the croissant, the Parisian croissant?
Yeah.
I think it's quite a majority, but and the Paris-Brest? That's close. That's close. So we will see that.
You can have
what's your preference?
Wow, I'm a very croissant boy, I do love it a lot.
Same for me. The top is really the coffee at the terrace of a coffee with a croissant. It's a Parisian coffee, so we like that. Before ending, I've got another question, but maybe we can take some questions from the attendants if there are. Do you have any questions from the audience? Raise your hand. We have some microphones. And they will pass, because I wanted to be sure that we have the time to take some questions before.
Hello, my name is André van den Berg, de la Montagne in French. I'm from the Netherlands. I read that the consumption of wine crashed in France, and I'm very surprised.
Yes, you're right. I mean, these past years have not been very healthy for the wine food scene, but not only in France, but mainly in France as well. And you got many reasons for that. I think that, yes, consumption is going down, and we know that the youngest generation is not as wine addicted as before. So I think we need to teach, again, the quality and the diversity of wines as well. And I think this is a reason why. And then probably it's also because, the volume, what we are producing is probably too high, and the exportations are also going down. So we're in a very tricky moment for the wine culture. But I think it's a very interesting moment. And I'm also sure that thanks to the new generation, which is also consuming and drinking more cocktails, also low or no low drinks, they will come little by little to a new consumption of wines as well. So I'm pretty positive on that. It will change for sure, but the world is changing, and there's no reason why we could not reach again, the level of wines we used to drink before.
Merci.
Merci à vous.
Thank you. Another question? We can take one or two again. There's another one, just in the middle. This is the tricky place to get the microphone, but...
So speaking of wine, I heard they're making non-alcoholic wines these days. Is like a real thing? Do you think it's going to be commercialized? Have you ever tasted it? How does it taste?
Well, Joe, I just bought a company last year doing NOLO and exhibitions, so I'm pretty sure that this is a new market. I think it reached now something like 20% of the global market, not only for food service, but the global market. So yes, it will. And that's interesting because, as you know, the NOLO is also reusing, the alcohol. And so it transformed the alcohol into something which is a new beverage. So that's why I'm pretty positive on that. I'm sure that it's again a question of taste. It's again a question of what we like to say in France, a goût, So it will help the new generation to become new customers for the wines. But yes, I'm sure that the NOLO experience, and I've been lucky enough to experience lots of dinners or lunches through this, pairing with NOLO or just juice drinks. It will also create a new generation of customers. Yeah.
I remarked that you're much more dedicated and focused on wines and beverage than croissant or Paris-Brest. So I don't know. So. But I don't know what to think about that, but okay, let's party tonight. Last question, maybe we talked about it, but there is a change also with the star chef and the new generation. So maybe a quick word to conclude on that.
I think star chefs are still very important in our, it's a worldwide again, a picture, I would say. But I think now you got more and more young entrepreneurs, and Paris is again packed with that, which we are now more dedicated to a kind of a new truth in taste than only being starred, and that's, I think, something which is a richness for Paris.
And probably the restaurants are really changing because they want to preserve also the balance of the life, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So it's a world generation change also probably everywhere.
They do, and it's great that they do want to have more time for their families, and the chefs, female and male, they are more dedicated to a new quality of life, which is probably better for the quality of food itself.
Exactly, I was going to say that.
People in a way that the clients and the eaters just feel unique, and a part of a kind of new family, which is not the case before, probably.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any last question we can take? We've got 2 minutes. The online attendance was 100% croissant.
That's crazy.
I just shared that.
Wow.
So one last question. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
I think everything that you said really resonates with what we're gonna tell now with wellness, healthy, in the sense of better life, and be sure that we manage the energy correctly and everything. So I think food is definitely at the heart of that. So thank you so much, and I will join. Please, the second guest that will come with me will join Hatcher. Thank you, Luc. So welcome to Nadège Carrel and Andrea Souza Dantas. If you can please and have a seat. And before maybe beginning and introducing yourself, please have a seat. Just to focus about the wellness vibes. Wellness, I think, is everywhere. We talked about it now, but it's everywhere in terms of experiencing and what we're looking at in our day-to-day life. And even in shopping, so see actually what created our major partner also of Paris Je t'aime, Galeries Lafayette, in its Parisian location. This is quite new also, a new initiative, and we wanted to share that with you. So please have a look.
Et cette ville qui nous sourit, Paris je t'aime, Paris je t'aime. Chaque rue est un poème, Paris je t'aime.
So we can go there afterwards. Seems great. Thank you both for being there. So maybe we will be talking effectively about wellness. In fact, we're all looking for better travel, comfort, sustainability, and everything. Better health, longer, happier life, everything. So I think this is really important. So we will make you participate also. So be just prepared for that. So Nadège, you're the Global VP Brand Strategy and Guest Experience at Novotel. You've been working there for 20 years of international experience, shaping some of the world's leading hospitality brands. You're very much focused on the guest experience and brand strategy. And you were talking in your resume, you were talking that you've been passionate about creating brands that resonates with today's travelers while delivering meaningful business impact. So I think this is really great. And Andrea, thank you also for being there. You're the founder and managing director of Run Tours. You founded that in 2016. You were passionate about running through the streets, parks, and hidden corners of Paris. And so you find finally the way of combining your pleasure and your envy with the business model. And so we're happy to have you also because it also creates some energy and I would say nurtures also the social link and everything. So we will talk about that definitely. So To begin with you, can you maybe explain what's the activity of run tours and how it works and why you did that?
Right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's working.
Perfect. So thanks for having me. It's very nice to be here to talk about run tours. Well, two of my big passions, running and Paris. So I founded run tours while running in Paris with my friends training, and I realized we could cover a lot of ground, a lot of sites of interest while running. If you do a 10-kilometer route or a 6-mile route by walking, it can be very tiring and very long. So we can do by running very quickly, and then we can see a lot of Paris. So that's what we do. We do guided visits of Paris by running, right? So we make several stops along the way to talk about the monuments, talk about the stories, sometimes hidden stories of Paris. And yeah, that's it.
But in fact, you make the tours, they run, and then you explain, you have some stops where you explain the
Yes.
history and everything, the monuments and everything.
Yes. So
So it's a guided tour, but by running,
exactly.
if we can say that.
Yes. So
And-
sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, our bestseller tour takes 2 hours to go 10 kilometers or 6 miles, because we make several stops along the way for telling stories, taking pictures, drinking water. Yeah.
And you do B2C routes, but also B2B. We will come back after that. But you also have non-runners activities for people who don't want to
Yes.
run.
So in
Same to me. I walk, not try run. But
Yes, exactly. Not everyone runs, and but I think being active is very important, and being outdoors as well. So in 2020, we created this activity of rally game, treasure hunting game in Paris by walking. So we also navigate. We are also navigating the city, answering questions, solving challenges about creativity, photo challenges, location challenges. So it's very team building focused, more than the running tours.
thank you. Nadej, you've been working on a different program dedicated to wellness in the Novotel Hotel. So maybe you can explain to us how it works. And I love the fact that wellness standards are enhancing the guest experience, because this is really all about it. So, and a day-to-day life. So I think this is really interesting to share with our audience on that.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for having me. I'd like to ask a question to the audience. Who knows Novotel first? Who knows the Novotel brand? I'm very pleased to see that. Yeah, the
Now you
people
can't
from
vote
Macron
twice.
were not raising their hands. We have a problem.
One hand only.
So it's more than just a program for Novotel. It's really a transformative vision. We're putting well-being at the center of everything we do. So it's not just about wellness, it's really well-being. And it's really about bringing this idea of adding life to years, not years to life. And it's your grandmother's recipe. It's sleeping a little longer, eating a little better, moving with intention, and meeting with purpose. So that's where I think we meet, on the move with intention. So we're not reinventing things. We're just really owning this part around the sleep, the eat, the move, the meet. And I'm going to tell you a little story. Do you know that if you do 1% more every day, and I'm just talking 1%, it could be 5 minutes taking the stairs instead of the lift. It could be waking up 5 minutes earlier to meditate. It can be a very simple thing. It actually multiplies by 37. That's the benefit. And it's a mathematical formula. It's not me saying it. It's been calculated. If you do 1 time 360 days, you'll see the benefit is 37. It actually also works if you do 1% less interesting. But for us, what we really want to encourage, we want to encourage people to move 1% more. It's not about extreme program, it's about small step. It's small and repetitive it's being constant.
Yeah, I love this notion of longevity, everyday manifesto, small steps, one by one, and etc. Can you maybe give us some example of how it can be activated in a mice event,
Yes.
like corporate? Because when you are individual, you can own yourself, your own day. But when you are in a corporate convention,
So the way we've translated this longevity everyday vision for corporate and for mice is all about energy management. Why? Because the travelers today, we call them the corporate athlete. It's no longer just about managing your time. It's also about managing your energy. So everything, all our proposal around mice is really about helping you manage your energy throughout the day. Now, I don't know if so I'm going to give you some example of the program we are actually currently launching in our hotel. So we are putting together some different and mainly focus on food. We were talking about food. So in the morning, with morning boost, juice that are going to help you focus or rest or, pause. So we have those morning boost on our mice offering. Then power snack. Power snack will help you keep your energy going. But managing your energy doesn't just mean running all the day. It also means that you need some time to know when to pause. So it's so that you manage it. Lunch you wear, it's all about plan forward. As part of our EAT pillar, so eating a little better, we've made a commitment as a brand. We want to offer 25% plant-based dishes in all of our restaurants, including for our mice offering. So that could be, a bit the idea of creating your own bowls, having really delicious. It's not about boring vegetable. It's not doing plant-based doesn't mean doing tomato salad with mozzarella. It's very delicious. I love it, but it's not about that. It's really about creating new habits in terms of food, but providing alternative to people so they don't have to choose meat or fish.
and you've got also to have local products and good products. As we said before.
That's a given. That's a base.
That's
And then the last part, which is new part of our meeting proposal, is to have those dies. So we've called them the energy dies. There's 4 dies. You can either brainstorm, you can breathe or take a moment, you can re-energize yourself. It's to create this moment, this social moment for the group when they're together.
But we'll come back to that. Before that, as you said, each extra mile pays off in the long run, as you said. So, got a question. Did you take the stairs today versus elevator? Who took the stairs? Come on, it's 50% maybe. So who took the elevator? You can't do it. So who will take the stairs tomorrow? Maybe this is the better question. So great, thank you. But I think you're right. It's everything about managing energy and see how we can move forward to be in a better health. So I will give you also the online results when they are voting. But maybe before coming back to the social link, because I think it's really something that's also very important in the tours that you're running, can you maybe give us some example when you do on-demand tours for the mice, for an event, for a corporate, how does that work? And what would be, I would say, the favorite route that you could propose or something? So make us dream, and maybe we will join you tomorrow morning at 6. Okay? This is fine for you guys?
Right. So we have 5 different routes. Usually we adapt one of those routes to the mice group. The bestseller route is the Paris Je t'aime running tour. So we see classical monuments in Paris, usually we start in Place Saint-Michel, but we can also start once we started in Porte-Maillot, for instance, or in the event place of the group, and then we adapt the route according to the starting place. So usually if we start from Place Saint-Michel, we see Notre Dame, and then Conciergerie, and then we long along the river, the Louvre Museum, totally empty, which is something people love, because we runners, we start early for two reasons. Usually because we have to work afterwards. So it's easy to get your workout done early in the morning. And then because it's fresher, we don't have traffic, we don't have the crowds, right? So people love having Paris to themselves. So the Louvre Museum totally empty, and then Tuileries Garden empty, very beautiful, the sun rising. And we usually go until the Eiffel Tower and running back along the river. It's a very scenery, Paris is very scenic.
How long does that
city.
last? 1 hour? 1 hour and a half?
We can adapt to 1 hour and make it shorter for 5 kilometers. So 6 kilometers, 1 hour, 10 kilometers, 2 hours, because you want to appreciate it's a relaxed jog. It's not a racing, right? So many people are concerned about the pace. Am I going to slow down the group? No, we're exploring the city. So yes.
So online guests, they were saying, I don't know if they lie or not, but 80% stairs. So I don't know.
It's impossible in Paris not to take the stairs, by the way.
Resonating with what you said about managing this energy, and we talked about that, Andrea, when we prepared, but you told me about, the fact that you're running gives you also the dose of endorphin that you need for the day. So that goes quite well with that. So, and this idea of a social link, because people just happen to meet with each other and do something together. So maybe we can develop a little that.
Yeah, it's very interesting, because during in the official surveys, people don't start running because they want to socialize. They start running because they want to be healthy. They want to be in a good shape. But what keeps them running is socialization, is meeting other people, and we see this a lot. And people who meet each other during our tours, or groups that run together, and they have their relationships strengthened. So it's really, we see lots of running groups appearing, merging in Paris and worldwide, because people want to meet new people. And this is, the socialization is a factor of longevity with health, right? We have VO2 max, we have grip strength, muscles, but we have also socialization as a factor of longevity. So this is very important.
We love that. Do you see that also in the corporate events that you have with this energy dices, this importance of the socialization and everything?
So I think now my mic is working. We before we launch any new brand experience marker, or we transform what we're doing in our hotel, we actually pilot it. So we piloted it in 41 hotels globally. All of the markers I saw you, and the dice, we got really, really good feedback. I mean, it worked very. We also have a social dice if people want them to do things afterwards. Where they can win something at the bar, or something around a drink or dinner, or a pause. It's quite important, and it actually creates stronger link, I'd say. That's why we call this meet with purpose. It's intentional. It's not just about just meeting. So yes, it's a new experience. Not only the guests love it, but the teams love it. Wow. Because it gives them something to talk about, something new, something different. And as I say, longevity is our transformative vision through our 4 pillars, but also it means longevity for the planet. So that's something very dear to our heart as well.
Is it a premiere in the hospitality sector? I've never seen that before. So this is really
the longevity.
Yeah.
So Novotel being a mid-scale brand, we call it a more affordable brand. I think we are the first one to embrace longevity. Longevity has for very long be something reserved to the few, embraced by some luxury brands. But it requires very expensive material, or it costs quite a lot. For us, what we want to do is democratize longevity. That's why this 1%, it's not about big things, it's about transformative small steps. So yes, I think we are pioneering, but it's very much in the spirit of the brand. Novotel for mid-scale, to always try to pioneer, because that's how we were funding.
So maybe a question for you. Each connection nurtures the heart and mind, we said. So I've got a question. Who talked to someone you didn't know before today? And have a real, I would say, a conversation, not only thank you, hello, or whatever, but at least one phrase or two phrases. So who did that today? Wow, good for you. You're very socializing. So that, yeah, but because, yeah, you're cheating. Sorry about that. Because you all know each other now. So, but that's a good thing. So thank you, because I think it's really important to have this social link, and that participates also on the good vibes that we already have with the people we don't know, even in the streets, with the people in the shops and everything. So I think this is really part of the day-to-day life that we have to live with. Maybe before the last question, do we have some questions from the audience for our guests? So Sam, we have 2 microphones at your disposal, so does anyone want to ask something? One question. It's always the difficult one, the first one.
Yes, I just have a question for the Ronan tours. If you're not at the same level, like how do you actually manage that? Like I'm sure everyone is running at a different path, so.
The fact that, hello? Yes. The fact that we do several stops, it helps because, yeah, I try to be in the middle, be attentive of the person who is behind. Yeah, so we have several stops and we're never too far away. Each stop is not, I don't know, 500 meters, 600 meters apart from the other. So it's not a real problem. When we have larger groups, yes, we have to have at least 2 guides because one guy is going to be with the fastest group, we can say, and the other one with the slowest group. But I can always manage different fitness levels. Yeah, I had never had problems with that, fortunately.
Thank you. Is there any other questions? For the attendance, online attendance, 98% said that they had talked to someone they didn't know today. So that's giving some hope about the openness of the humankind. So that's pretty cool. Does anyone have another question?
What is the optimum group size for the running groups? When you were saying like it depends when you need to split it, like.
Okay, when I have individual travelers, because we have a lot, so at 10 people in a group, that's the most. But when you have people who know each other, like a convention group who book together, so that's much easier. So yeah, we had, I think 30, 35, yeah, it depends. Yeah, up to 50, it depends. Sometimes when the group is larger, usually we have someone within the group to help us. So to keep track of everyone, we also have the idea of everyone is wearing the same t-shirt. We have a souvenir t-shirts, so groups can order us t-shirts, or the company can provide a t-shirt for everyone is wearing the same t-shirt. So it helps to identify someone if the group is too far apart from each other. So yeah, we can have a larger group if everyone is working together everyone knows each other from a meeting or a convention, a congress, it's much easier. But if people don't know each other, yes, we 10, at most 15 in a group.
Thank you. And when we prepared, you both talk about joy, I would say, good energy, good vibes. We talk about that, playful and everything. So as we're only good vibes today. So what example could you give maybe, or what tips could you share maybe with the audience of what makes you stay vibrant, joyful, and on a day-to-day?
For me, it will be a little bit of self-care. So taking 5 minutes for myself, or getting a call from somebody I haven't spoken to for a while. Just trying to find little or joy in little things, I'd say.
You run.
Yeah. For me, it's starting well my day with moving. Start the day moving, if not running, swimming, cycling, walking, go for a walk. And it's very important. It resonates a lot with you, Nadesh, because Everything we conquered from sport, which is good, right, for our health. It realizes during the recovery. So in order to run well, we have to recover well, have to sleep well and eat well. This is very important.
Food is really coming every time. So it's really in the heart, I would say, of everything that we're doing. So you did that on your program, but I think this is really a difference. Can you maybe share one example or a testimonial of someone who organized an event already in the Novotel on that point, or maybe it's too early?
So we had, as part of our pilot, people organizing events and highlighting that the having a different food offering. I'm not saying we shouldn't have the croissant because I voted for croissant. So absolutely we do, but being able to offer different things. So, like those snacks, those power bites, we call it, that gonna help you go and discovering new things is super important. So I think that was something that was really resonating with the guest. It's also wanting to learn a little something new and do something differently.
Yeah, great. And we discussed that before, but you're in the middle of a launch. You just begin the whole thing?
We're launching in steps of the pilot hotel are continuing, but we're launching to the rest of the network from September onwards.
Okay, and so I think you're very open also to feedbacks of everyone. So you're the specialist here in the audience, so do not hesitate to give some feedbacks afterwards of what you think and how you receive that, because I think it's important also to co-build together and be sure that it meets also your expectations. So thank you. Is there a last one? We have 2 minutes. So last question, if any. If not, another one. The last one.
Yeah, sorry. But because you were talking about not only having the choice in between meat and fish, and that's why you came up with that new trend, do you see, looking more forward, that there will ever be an option also to say we completely take meat out or fish out? Or you think, just looking in the future from your perspective?
So our position at Novotel is to actually address everybody's taste. So we don't want to cut you out because you love meat or you love fish. What we've planned forward, what we're trying to do is, it will be mainly plant-based. You can have a small portion of protein, but it has to be really high quality, so local. If it's fish, it has to be sustainable fish, because we also have a commitment with WWF to protect the ocean. So we need to walk the talk. So it's not so much about moving everything to being vegan or vegetarian. If you are great, you'll find what you want. But if you like fish and meat, you'll get it, but you'll get the quality.
Thank you. So I would use that as a conclusion. Each time you care for the world, it cares for you. So don't forget it. Thank you, both of you. And let me welcome our next guest. So we're going to talk about entertainment. So it will be time to party afterwards. So Antoine, please join me on stage and I will present you in a minute.
Et cette ville qui nous sourit, Paris je t'aime, Paris je t'aime, chaque rue est un poème, Paris je t'aime toujours.
So before beginning the presentation and the discussion that we will have and present you, I love your title, by the way. So you're Chief Creative Officer in Paris Society. I love that, Creative Officer. That's pretty cool. I want that one. But we're lucky also at Paris Je t'aime to have a great partner in entertainment, which is Disney, the magic Disney. So let's have just a little look and a glimpse at what they do at the Disney. That's joy and magic every time. So Antoine Ménard, Chief Creative Officer at Paris Society. You're an entrepreneur, you're a brand creator, an experience designer. You've played a key role in the development of Paris Society for more than a decade now. So that means a lot. And I know your conviction is really the most memorable places are those who tell a story. So I think we share that. So you create destinations, you develop immersive worlds. So I think this is really the key thing about Paris Society. I'm not sure we need to present the concept of Paris Society because everyone knows about Laurent de Gourcuff and how I would say transformed the entertainment life in Paris, because finally he opened some very iconic places such as Giraffe, Pompon, Laurent, Maxime's, Perruche, and so many others. You will tell about it. And you've got a baseline. I love also the baseline. So we will take some example about titles and baseline. The pioneers in the art of hospitality. So maybe you can begin by sharing what entertainment and hospitality means for you, and how you apply that on your day-to-day job.
Thank you, Corinne. So first of all, I want to thank Paris. As you said, I'm Chief Creative Officer for Paris Society. I'm lucky to be able to put my creativity and the work of a team behind the creation of concept. Those concepts are powerful today because they are born in Paris. The impact of F&B business born in Paris is very, very strong. I'm in charge of the international development, and I can tell you that creating a food business in Paris gives a notoriety that you cannot get somewhere else. That was the case probably 10 or 15 years ago in London, but Paris today is a super place for that. Talking about entertainment, I would say that entertainment starts when you stop serving food and you start bringing something else, some feeling, some emotion to our guests. I like the notion of emotion and memories. I used to work to talk more about memories and experiences. Experiences belong to the present, memories belongs to the time. And what we try to bring is some memories. And to bring these memories, these souvenirs to our clientele, we play with heritage and architecture. And that's where I love to be in Paris, because we have so many views, so many historical buildings we can play with. Coco inside the Opéra Garnier, Baronne inside the Hotel Salomon de Rothschild. So there is this heritage, and then this is more my job now to bring some content and to make sure that of course this is about food, but this is not only about food, this is about a full story where there is the designs, there is the stylist for the outfit, there is the olfactive signature, there is a music, there is a light, and this is all these little details that brings for me the definition of entertainment.
It's staging as a whole anyway, so...
It is staging. We use these words in English when we develop a place. How do we stage the place?
And I remember when I was also in the trade show business, we were used to say that anyway, a corporate event or an event that you remember usually not because you ate something in your plate or whatever, you remember it because you had a specific emotion on that. So what you were saying. So
and
this is probably the key. So.
Yeah, because I used to say that our experiences we bring is hundreds of details. And if you take independently one or two details, that doesn't bring something special, but that's a combination of all these detail in a specific space with a specific light that bring this experience.
Probably the thing is how to combine efficiently the heritage, the monumental history that we have in Paris. You talked about the opera or other places, and at the same time, the audacity modernity or creativeness that we can have. Exactly the same. You do exactly the same as the opening ceremony of the Olympics finally in 2024. So it's the staging of the whole thing. And I think it's really what you do every day. So can you maybe told us about, you told me about the garden party at the Palais Royal or something like that. Just
Yeah, that's Paris is a stage for us, and that's how we try to play with modernity, authenticity, and heritage. When we talk about the garden party, we organize a garden party for Paris Society to promote the art of recevoir à la française. We did that under the trees inside the Jardin du Palais Royal. So the garden in itself and the Jardin du Palais Royal is heritage, is stunning, you do have natural emotion, but creating something new in terms of experience and having this one long table with 50 invitees, hundreds of candles, and playing with the heritage of all the art de la table. So having the concours of Bernardo, Christophe, and putting together old, I would say, existing platery, etc. That's the mix, and the way we mix that with the music, with the food, that brings this mix.
And as you were saying, probably this is really a specificity, a Parisian specificity. I'm not sure so many countries do that because of our history, because of the way we integrate this history in our day-to-day life. So I'm not sure, you're international, so maybe you have some other point of view, but I'm pretty sure, as you were saying, this is really the influence of Paris everywhere. It's very specific.
That's the influence of Paris, and that's the influence of France in itself. There's not so many countries that when we buy a plate, we don't call a supplier. We call a collaboration with historical, fantastic suppliers that have archives. We spend hours and hours in their archives, and there is so many countries that you can play with that. We always talk about the terroir for the food. We always talk about our history about the cuisine, but we should talk about also our heritage in terms of savoir-faire for the furniture, for the sittings. When we did open Coco inside the Opéra Garnier, we were doing some research about the opera and about the sittings, and we found that, so this is outside of Coco, we found that in the history when the opera opened, they did some armchairs, some chairs with only one armchairs, because they were able to put some more like that. And we reused that as a clin d'œil inside the restaurant with only one armchairs. There are not so many countries that you can play with this heritage, and of course the concentration of that is Paris, and that make so. Eva Longoria was here at the garden party. She's promoting France and she's promoting Paris and food with Alain Ducasse, with a lot of chefs. And she was saying, in Paris and in France, there is this je ne sais quoi that you cannot describe, but there is something special here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that. And is it coming back to MICE industry and corporate events? I think this is really also very important, because I always say when you do a corporate event, you need also to be meaningful, because you can't do just an event sorting from nowhere. So you've got to have a sense and say something. So I think this combination serves the purpose also of being meaningful for an event. So there is a purpose. You create something.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly the same parallel between restaurants and events spaces. Companies today doesn't want only to host clients or doing I would say boring corporate stuff. They try to bring some emotion, because when you are open to an emotion, you are open to a connection. And I think in a life today where you do have instant information and you can share easily and you can do Teams meeting and you don't need to meet anymore, creating physical connection is something super efficient for a company and super important. And a great example of that is that 15 years ago, companies were asking us to have a white box to organize their events, or when there was doing a privatization of a restaurant, they say, okay, we don't want your furniture, we want only round table for 8 people everywhere, etc. That was 15 years or 10 years ago. Now they are looking for places with a strong DNA, places that will bring something else, even if this is sometimes less, I would say, comfortable or less done for corporate stuff. But that's the Abbaye de Vaud-Cernay on the left. 40 minutes from Paris. This is the good example. Nothing is really convenient for corporate events, but that's exactly what
people are looking for.
Yeah.
Great. So I've got a question for you guys. I've got 2 more. So first one, your preferred spot for a perfect evening, right bank or left bank? So maybe we can put the good slide on it. So, because Paris changed quite a lot in terms of nightlife and restaurants and hotels and everything between both. So that was not the same few years ago. So who's right bank? That's funny. And left bank? That's pretty much 50-50, but I would have said that right bank would have taken the pole away, because you developed so many things in the eastern Paris and everything. So, but we will see what the online attendance will say. Let's talk a little about nightlife. It's nearly the time, so we can go afterwards. But how would you rank maybe Paris according to versus to other cities actually in the world in terms of nightlife, diversity, entertainment, and everything?
Nightlife has evolved a lot, not only in Paris, globally nightlife has evolved. I used to hear that, okay, the nightlife in Paris is dead. This is not the case at all. The nightlife in Paris is different than it was 10 or 15 years ago or 20 years ago. The nightlife in Paris has always existed. When we talk about Maxims, that we reopened 3 years ago, Maxims at the beginning of the 20th was a super place for a special nightlife. People doesn't want to go to the restaurant, go back to home, have a shower, change, and go back to a nightclub until 4 a.m. They are looking for something different. They are looking for something which is probably more immersive. That's why we do propose. We were the first one, 10 years ago, with Le Piaf in Paris, that you can go, you have a drink, then you have your dinner, then smoothly you going in a party on the same place, and the entertainment is part of the restaurant.
We called it the early dance floor.
Yeah, but sometimes not so early, but that late dinner, early dance floor, but everything is mixing now, and I think that's super exciting. And there is also something that we observe is that Laurent de Gourcuff was one of the first one when we opened Monsieur Bleu 2012, always fighting to have outdoor, and it was terraces are super important and will be more and more important. But that's the same for the nightlife. There is scene for the nightlife in Le Bois de Boulogne or around Paris, which is outdoor nightlife that bring also something cool. And with Les Quais, with No More Car on Les Quais, there is a nightlife here
for
also.
Sure.
So that's a good, I think, mix for the new nightlife in Paris.
And you have also a new offer of cabaret. Sort of.
We did have, so when we transformed some of our ex-nightclub, Neo and Sons, was Tanya, for those who remember, with dinner. We transform it in Mondaine. I was thinking, okay, how could we create a sexy, bohemian and immersive cabaret? I feel that some institutions that I will not a name,
No.
but some institution in Paris has probably murdered a little bit the Parisian cabaret. Meaning we go with your backpack, you come in, you take a ticket, you have some dinner, poorly dinner.
somewhere
You look
tonight.
at a show, really passive, you look at a show, good show usually.
Good show.
And then you go out, you tick the box, and you did it. We tried to make something more. I was inspired by Moulin Rouge movie, where everything is super immersive. You know, there's no one stage. There is actor everywhere, and the pitch was how do we recreate a Parisian soirée, a Parisian party that could occur Rue de Babylone in Yves Saint Laurent and Pierre Berger apartment. And you going in a private Parisian apartment to party. So that's the way we recreated this cabaret, a Parisian cabaret, but taking inspiration from the past.
Thank you. Any questions from the audience before we close this session? So, no question. I've got a question for you. In the meantime, there is a question.
Hi. I want to know, with this concept restaurant, you work more with locals or tourists?
That's super interesting and super. No, but that's super funny that you're asking that. This morning, I texted my COO to have the percentage, so I do have the live info. Because I disagreed with Laurent de Gourcuff, saying, we have too many tourists and not so many Parisians. I said, no, Laurent, I'm sure we were 50-50. So in May and June, the mix of all our places is 43% Parisian and 67% tourist. This is only on bookings, but we are mostly pre-booked restaurants, so that's relevant. Before that, we were doing that with the card, but now with the new bank, we have a lot of Lithuanese proportion. So in terms of booking, 43% French, mostly Parisian, and 67 tourists. But that's true that Paris is a really international tourist city.
Yeah, and that's probably the best combination because tourists don't want to go in a touristic place. They want to live Paris also as we do as living there. So the right combination is when you have 50-50.
That's our biggest...
You are sitting alongside Parisians. So
that's our biggest challenge, to keep our Parisian audience. And there is a price positioning and a price powerful for French people. That is a challenge to keep the balance.
And food quality, because I know that the French, especially the Parisian, they will never come back in a place. It's super, it's beautiful. You have a super concept, design, music, but the food is poor. So it's a good sign you have that.
Yeah, it's correct.
I think I'm French, so
you're right.
Thank you.
Is there any other question? The last one.
Yes. So you talked about the French cabaret and French deep cultural heritage and entertainment, and it's truly one of those exceptional experiences that you can only experience in Paris. So I was wondering, are there any other kind of unique cultural or heritage elements of Parisian entertainment which maybe event organizers are overlooking or not aware of?
Can you say that again?
I'm not trying to understand the question either. So
yeah, so you talked about the Parisian cabaret and the fact that Paris has the ability to have these kind of unique experiences due to its heritage. So I wondered if, besides the cabaret, are there any kind of unique experiences related to the Parisian nightlife or entertainment, which event organizers coming from outside of Paris might be overlooking that you would suggest?
You mean in terms of savoir-faire, or
Yes.
what we say in terms of organizing things?
Yes.
I think creativity is really one of the of the best savoir-faire that we have, and we demonstrated it with the opening ceremony of the Games in 2024, but probably all this stuff and capacity of working together finally, because we're not very willing to work together at the beginning, but usually we did it after that. We always achieve anything. So there is something a little magic about that, and even for you, for your location, everything happens and everything is possible finally, even if it takes time, even if it's not easy. And I will show you just afterwards the little film of the eSport World Cup. They had 1 month to do everything, and we had to work with them, with the city, with the state, and everyone. Everyone was working together on that. And honestly, we made something magical. So it happened to be its opening, but it's 400,000 people coming for 7 weeks. They had only 4 weeks to set it up. And I think this is really the real capacity that we have finally.
And we do have the local talents, meaning I'm traveling the world. We are also based in Middle East, we just opened Bodrum in Turkish. 3 weeks ago, we opened Miami. So I'm traveling the world, and there's not so many countries that have all the talents, meaning the designer, the architect, the singer, the technicians, the light designer, but also all the staff behind that. I mean, the waiters, the chef, etc. Going to Miami and to US, this is a challenge because it's not a real job to be a waiter or to be a maître d'hôtel or to be a chef. This is one in France. So in France and in Paris, we are lucky to have all this heritage, of course, in terms of architecture, but in terms of cultural talent also.
Thank you. So just a last question for you guys. If you have to choose Paris by night or Paris at dawn, so I don't know, what do you choose?
I would choose by night.
Of course you do. I may choose at dawn, so I don't know. So who's choosing by night? So those are coming tonight with us, and for the others, I don't know. And at dawn,
Luc is
but
boss.
at dawn, there is something magical at dawn. So nobody's there. You can go for a run tour. So that's pretty magical. So both answers are good. So 100% night online, and before that was the right bank, 82%, I think, 72%. So definitely the right bank is far behind before. Thank you. Thank you so much. Maybe there is a last question. We still have 2 minutes, so we can take a last question if there is. Last one. It's coming.
I would love to hear what's next for Paris Society. I've been following what you've been doing, and it sounds like there's a lot of opening. What's coming up for you guys in the group that you can share?
Everyone is tweeting.
So there is our international development. There's something which is really we launched a members club, and the members club is a new business we are moving on because we are able to have this community in our places. So now we try to find a way to keep this community together. But I would say, as a personal goal, what I would love and what I'm pushing for is probably more hotels and less restaurants, because when the time you have in terms of connection with a consumer, with the clients in a restaurant is really, really short. And I discovered the hotel industry a few years ago, and I was super happy about the fact that I have 2, 3, 4 days in a leisure hotel industry to connect with my clientele and to share emotions. So if we talk about Gigi, for instance, there is a development of Gigi restaurant, but I have in mind a Villa di Gigi or a Chalet di Gigi also. That could be the future of Paris Society.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Antoine. Thank you for being with us. Thanks for this inspiring moment. So it's nearly time to party now. So tonight you will experience a cabaret, so sorry about that, but it's a great show at the Paradis Latin, and it's a very good show. And for the others who are online, please do not hesitate and come. We've got so lot to offer. And tomorrow we will have a white party on a magnificent boat on the paquebot with our friends of Sodexo. So that will be pretty cool. Thanks to our main partners who are alongside Paris Je t'aime all year long, and we're really collaborative and we're working very closely all together. So Accor, Sodexo Live, Galeries Lafayette, Paris Haussmann, Aéroport de Paris, X-Time Travel, Disneyland Paris, GL Events, Air France, and of course, our partner who helped us to put everything in place for this WhatsApp Day, Fondation Cartier, the Paradis Latin, Eurostar, Lyria, Paris Key, GMC, the Maison Boissier. You will have some friandises, very antique savoir-faire also in your bags for that. And before maybe ending this session, I would like to share with you the film of the eSport World Cup that they presented us yesterday at the press conference. As I was saying, they had 4 weeks to set everything up. We managed to be all partners and all working together, and I think we achieved very impressive things. So you will see it at the Porte de Versailles at Ville Paris if you want to. But the film really showcases this combination of heritage and entertainment and modernity, everything, because e-sport is really modern and technology. But you will see how they showcase the whole Parisian monuments, and I think this is really impressive and interesting to share with you. This is honestly full of joy, full of good vibes about Paris and how they see Paris supporting their event. And I think it's a very good example. So happy to share that with you. So thank you to all of you. Thank you for having been there. For those who are here, of course, we will spend a few hours more with you, and I will see you also tomorrow. So bye. Thanks again. And Paris Je t'aime forever, as always.
Paris, une terrasse sous le soleil, la Seine qui danse à son réveil, les ponts qui brillent sous la pluie, et cette ville qui nous sourit. Paris, je t'aime, Paris, je t'aime, chaque rue est un poème. Paris, je t'aime, toujours la même, et pourtant jamais pareil.